Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have another milestone moment review for you today. So I actually wasn't planning this, but it came up in my news feed today, and I decided that I got to do it today. Otherwise, I'm just going to miss the opportunity. So I'm talking about the album Destroyer by the band KISS. It came out on March 15th, 1976. On Casablanca Records, and it is celebrating its 45th anniversary. We're going to take a look at one of their best albums. Before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more, as well as classic album reviews, such as this one here. So in a recent video, I was talking about some albums that I had when I was a kid. And I mentioned I used to listen to The Doors, The Beatles, John Lennon, but I also have memories of owning a copy of KISS Dynasty. So that was back in 1979. I was about 8 years old at the time. I don't remember listening to the album though. I just have many memories of looking at the album cover, and I think trying to recreate the face paint sometime around Halloween time. Now, it wasn't until I was a teenager and I bought a KISS compilation called Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. Now this had so many songs, so I decided to start buying some of their older albums. So I would go to different record stores, and the KISS Destroyer album just caught my eye. I think it was the cover that just attracted me to it. I just listened to this album and I realized that this is such a great album. So this is not a long album, it's only 34 minutes, but the songs are all solid, there's no filler. As you know, I'm an Alice Cooper fan, and this album is connected to Alice Cooper in a few ways. The album was produced by Bob Ezrin, and Bob Ezrin, he was producer for many of Alice Cooper's earlier albums. And also, there was another musician who was working with Alice Cooper. His name is Richard Wagner. He actually wrote Only Women Bleed. But Richard Wagner played guitar on 2 tracks on this particular album, Destroyer. So I thought that was pretty cool that there's a connection, and it does have that sound, that really nice rock sound to it. But when this album came out in 1976, it got a lot of pretty bad reviews. So Rolling Stone magazine said that the album had bloated ballads. They said pedestrian drumming and a lackluster performance. And there's a newspaper called The Village Voice, that's a New York newspaper, and they said it was their least interesting record. But this album started to pick up momentum after the single BETH, which I will talk about a little later on. So I'm going to talk about the songs. So this album, I really like how it starts, because it's just very iconic in the intro as soon as you put on the album, and it's almost like you're listening to a movie. I mean, you can't see anything, but you're just listening, and it kind of puts you into the entire scene. Now you hear news broadcast in the background. It sounds like somebody's in a kitchen. You hear glasses clinking, then you hear a car door shut, and you hear the engine revving, and music comes on the radio, which is actually Rock and Roll All Night. And the main riff just comes on, and this is just such an awesome song. The song has also a cool twin guitar solo. And the solo is not very technical, but it's just very memorable. And the song ends pretty cool. I like to hear a car crash. I always thought that was pretty cool. And one thing I like about this album is that the songs flow perfectly into one another. And it's one of those albums you gotta listen to it front to back. So that's goes into the second song called King of the Nighttime World. Just an awesome song. Another song that sounds that has that signature KISS sound. There's a guitar solo. Another one that's not very technical, but just a lot of melody to it. And one thing I noticed about this track is I really like Peter Criss's drumming on it. If you listen to it and you pay attention to his drumming, has a really good sound to it. Next is probably my all-time favorite KISS song called God of Thunder. And it's one of my favorites because it's also like one of their heaviest, you know, in their entire catalog. You know, one of their most like metal songs. You know, Gene's vocals on it, you know, just a very like dark and kind of like scary. I remember hearing this song the first time and just amazed at that intro riff. And it's just such like a metal song. Now this song has even been covered by many metal artists. For example, White Zombie, Melvins, BETH, Entombed, and Iced Earth. So you know this is a real like metal song. Now the next song is called Great Expectations. It's another Gene Simmons song. There's some like orchestral elements and it's kind of like a very like epic sounding ballad. Now the lyrics are, I don't know how to say this, probably not acceptable by today's standards, I guess. But overall, you know, it is a good song if you can just get past the lyrics. So after that is Flaming Youth. This is another awesome song. This was actually written by Ace, Paul, and Gene, and also Bob Ezrin. So it was a big kind of like collaboration, but Bob Ezrin was kind of the guy who kind of like pieced it all together. You know, some of the parts of the songs were taken from other songs, but you know, Bob did a really good job of just like bringing it all together. It has a signature Kiss sound, really awesome guitar solo by Ace. You know, you hear some keyboards, kind of adds like a little extra richness to the song. And this was released as a single, and this was also their first 45 to have a picture sleeve. So I thought that was pretty cool. After that is Sweet Pain. So this is another awesome song. You know, Gene does the vocals on this one. I really like the guitar riff. It has like a very different tone. Ace Frehley actually doesn't play on the original recording. You know, the guitars were done by Richard Wagner. Also some female backup vocals, and kind of gives the song some extra texture. So I thought that's pretty cool. After that is Shout It Out Loud. And this is one of the most memorable like opening lead guitar riffs. This is just an awesome song, classic Kiss sound, and this is definitely one of their live staples. So this is one of those songs that you will always hear during their live shows. And that brings us to BETH. So this was their big hit. The song was composed by Peter Criss, and their biggest hit in the US. It reached number 7 on the Billboard 100. Now the original title of the song was called Beck, and it was originally written for Peter Criss's former band called Chelsea. Now they changed it to BETH because they didn't want to have any confusion with like the guitarist Jeff Beck, who was actually popular during that time. And we all know the song. It's a very, you know, popular song. It was recorded with the New York Philharmonic, so there was you know, something that was kind of new in those days, you know, using like a whole orchestra for a song, but it worked out for them. So after that is a song called Do You Love Me? So the song starts with Paul singing over a drum beat. Very catchy song. Now the lyrics, again, a little cheesy, but not as bad as Great Expectations. Really great sound. And the song has a really cool like guitar breakdown. Has some pretty cool like bell effects. I really like this one. And that is basically the last song, but for those of you who have the vinyl, there was an extra like little short instrumental called Rock and Roll Party. It's a short instrumental, and it only appeared on the vinyl. I never remember hearing this. I think it wasn't on the copy I had. I believe I had the cassette and later the CD, so I don't ever remember hearing this. But it's just basically a minute and a half of just sound effects, but it is kind of like eerie. So that is it. Let me know, what do you think of Kiss's Destroyer? Like, how would you rank it? I mean, is it your favorite? Is it your number 1? Is it in your top 5 or your top 10? Let me know. Let's get some comments going, and check out some of my other videos. I'll put one on right over there, right over there. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.